Infinix never stops surprising me, and this time we got a totally revamped design that's so much nicer to look and hold, and we got features you just don't see in this price range, like shoulder triggers and magnetic cooling plus wireless charging system, which is super exciting. Of course, there are a few missing features, but let's go through them and see if this is still the right phone for you. Selamat pagi, good morning everyone, Kenneth here, and welcome to my review of the Infinix GT30 Pro. Now, I'm very late to the party, but hopefully this video could still help you out. I'll be putting it to the test with maxed out weathering waves, Honkai Star Rail, also Genshin and Delta Force by popular request, and I've started building my mobile phone rating section linked in description. So in the future, you can compare the phones that I reviewed, and one thing I have to say, that's gonna be very exciting. Okay, so as always, everything said is my own honest opinion, and please support my work by buying through the affiliate links because it really helps me keep the channel going. And without further ado, let's get started and talk about what's new this time around, starting from the packages. This time the phone is available not only in 8 plus 256 config, also 12 plus 256, but also 12 plus 512 gigabytes, which is much better, especially when we see games take 10 to 30 gigabytes easily. And on this phone, I've taken 180 gigabytes just for the apps alone. And as far as pricing is concerned, it ranges from $230 to $300, which puts it very close to the Poco X7 Pro that I reviewed here. But if your focus is gaming, then I think Infinix is the real clear choice because you have a capacitive or touch shoulder triggers, perfect for those first-person shooters, and also at the top spec, you're getting the official gaming package with magnetic case and cooling fan, like I said, that doubles as a wireless charger. And you can pair this with the inbox 45 watts charger to unlock an extreme gaming mode, which supposedly lifts any thermal limits. But we'll talk about this in a bit. I just can't stress enough how I adore this wireless charging and cooling system that doesn't interfere with how you grip the phone. It also frees up the USB-C plug for wired earphones, which is also included in the box, and this is really my dream phone came true. But then I wasn't this excited when it launched earlier this year because the specs are not really cutting edge. The Dimensity 8350 chip, for example, while new, it scores 1.4 million in Antutu compared to 1.6 million on the Poco X7 Pro's Dimensity 8400. Same thing with battery. Only 5,500 mAh compared to 6,000 with half the charging speed too, at least that's what the claim is. Then I reviewed the Poco and found it to be cool. I mean, like low temperature cool. I thought they won the race this year, but when I got this phone and unboxed it for the first time, that thought immediately disappears. I am willing to pay all those sacrifices for these gaming features I drool over from flagship gaming devices. And performance-wise, at least now we see in benchmarks, this is about the same as last year's Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, which is perfectly speedy. Even the disk speed test is within its spec range, though Snapdragon still has a huge optimization upper hand in browsing, as it generally scored much higher in Speedometer 3.1 compared to MediaTek in general. There is one notable feature that's dropped from GT20 Pro, which is the dedicated display chip, so you no longer get frame interpolation that, despite adding some additional lag, did run Genshin at 120 FPS or Honkai Star Rail at 90 FPS last year, which is pretty cool for a phone with under 1 million Antutu score. And I didn't really care about super resolution, but usually display chips help stabilize the frame rate and power consumption. The new GT30 Pro instead relies on raw power to chew through games. I've seen it consume upwards of 7 to 9 watts, even 10 watts peak, which drives up the temperature well above 45 degrees within the first 10 minutes. So if you want to game for hours, you definitely need the cooling fan, and you'd benefit from stronger one like this FlyDigi B8X, though it doesn't wirelessly charge, so I use the kit one much more. Keep in mind, however, wireless charging is slow. Let's say about 3 to 5% increase per 10 minutes. As you know, the phone is constantly using 5 to 7 watts of power, so at least the battery is going up. So I usually recommend using it right from the start when the phone is cool, battery is almost fully topped up, so the phone stays cool and charged. And while we're here, let's talk about the 45 watts wired charging. I mean, It's enough, not too fast and not too slow. As you can see in the graph, it peaks at 30 watts but quickly stabilizes to around 20 watts. We get around 20% back within 10 minutes and around 60% in 30 minutes, which within the same time frame, that's about 10% less charge compared to Poco X7 Pro's 90